What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Dudes Who Bet Daily. We're back for another Sunday, Papa Dude. I told you the people yesterday we'd be a little tired. We are, but we're here, right?
Right. We're dedicated. Very enjoyable trip. Pretty good game. Interesting game.
Yeah.
But a little draggy today. Extremely hot at the beginning of the game, and then walking back to the car was hot.
Yeah.
But fun game. Enjoyed it.
Well, they talking about Oklahoma, the game we went to. They probably won a game that they wouldn't have won last year. That's my biggest takeaway. I don't think last year's team wins that game last night. This year's team did. So I don't think this is going to be a team at Oklahoma that you're going to look back on and be like, wow, that won a season. But no. I definitely think they're better, and that's good. You want to see progress? I think they're better.
They are more athletic. There's some issues that don't make sense yet, but it's early. You get those ironed out. Offensively, they were really weird. The whole thing was weird. But defensively, they stood up and did something that Oklahoma teams haven't done often. They won the game because of their defense.
And it hasn't happened in a long time that they played that good a defense. So that was good to see. I think if you would have said, hey, Oklahoma's only going to score 28 points, you might have thought it's going to be really close. They might lose. It's toss-up. So that was good to see that they got it done. Yeah, and look, Texas beats Alabama on the road. They did it pretty decisively. All of a sudden, Texas looks awfully good now after that win. And the SEC, minus Georgia, obviously. I don't want to throw Georgia in with the rest of this, but SEC does not look as strong as years past all of a sudden.
No, you look at the top teams. They've already lost. LSU's lost and looked awful. Of course, we didn't see the Alabama game last night. We know Texas has a lot of talent, but I think most people are surprised that Texas controlled that game or seemed like they did. So Alabama's slipping a little. A&M going to Miami and getting killed. Not that they're one of the upper teams, but they think they are. That's not good. Florida's not very good. Tennessee's not impressive yet this year. That was not an impressive performance. Of course, it's hard to get up for those kind of games. So, we're seeing some the SEC not as strong, and the Pac-12 is really playing well.
I want to shout out Rob because I believe it was you, Rob, last week that said you had a great week in college football. Sounds like Rob did again. I saw a couple of these posted on the comments too, Rob, so I know you're not redboarding this here. This is legit. He had Baylor plus 7.5. They lost, but only lost by 7. Notre Dame minus 7. They blew out North Carolina State. Boise State plus 3.5. They lost, but only by 2. And then that Texas Bama game goes over 3.5. So another good week for Rob. You're on fire 2 weeks into college football.
No doubt.
Good job. All right, Papa Dude, let's turn the page. We'll have a lot more on college football on our massive Dudes Who Bet Sports show. So we'll see. We'll have more on that for sure. All right, let's get to it, though. Let's get to the NFL. We turn the page to Sunday. Week 1 of the NFL is here. We already had the one game with the Chiefs and the Lions. Now we got the full slate. I picked 3 of the hardest ones, Papa Dude. I just to get you thinking this morning. All right, Bengals Browns. That's number 1. Bengals 2-point favorite on the road against the Browns. Total sitting at 47. What are you doing with this one?
Okay, before I get in, I got to mention to Mark. Mark is a huge Wyoming fan. They got Texas in Austin next Saturday. We fully are expecting a win, Mark. Wyoming is going to go down there. We're expecting them to go down there and beat Texas.
For sure, yeah.
Hey, you're catching them at the right time. They're going to be a little flat after the Alabama game.
They are going to be a little bit flat, and Wyoming's already beaten one Big 12 opponent, and then they won again last week, so they're 2-0, Rob. No excuses.
Yeah, Mark, not Rob.
I'm sorry. I saw Rob commented right as I was talking Mark. I knew.
Okay, so go get him, Mark. We're expecting it. Anyway, Bengals at Browns. This is so fishy, this line. And guess what, Aaron? I stayed away from it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess I'm reading a lot that Burrows is not healthy. So that's probably why the line is. That and, Vegas and they're just fascinated with Watson. He's going to be great, all this stuff. So I guess the fact that Burrows has not practiced or done much in the in the preseason. It's why this line is where it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I stayed away from it. If he can play at all, I think they win. I just do. But yeah. I guess when you got a quarterback that hasn't played at all, has practiced very little, you got to stay away from the game. I really think you should.
Yeah, I took the Browns simply because the line's weird, but I'm with you. It's a tough one to kind of get a read on. We'll see. I kind of am of the theory that the preseason and practice for star players is a joke. I don't really think it matters. I've said that a lot. I subscribe to the Allen Iverson theory. When you're a stud, I don't think that matters. Yeah. And honestly, when you get to a lot of these behind the scenes sports things, most of the star players don't practice. Have you noticed that? Like, you get in there and it's like, well, yeah, he doesn't really do much, you know.
Well, I guarantee you that nobody that's hit Joe Burrow's his entire practice time at Cincinnati or LSU, for that matter. You don't hit the quarterback. Yeah. So he's probably gone through all the non-contact drills, which they don't have any contact drills for a quarterback anyway.
Yeah.
And he's probably ran the passing drills with his receivers. So that part of it, he's probably okay.
Yeah.
It's just he didn't get any game action in the preseason. But what would he have got? A half, maybe?
Right. Yeah.
So, I think here's the thing that I'm a little concerned about is maybe he doesn't even start this game. It's possible.
I don't know. I don't know what'll happen there. I think they kind of are saying he's good to go, but you never truly know until the ball snaps. So the line is fishy enough for me to take the Browns. So I'm going to take the Browns.
Yeah. The only reason I don't take the Browns is you can't depend on them.
I think the biggest and best reason not to take the Browns is they're the Browns.
That's right. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you said it. You said it a nicer way.
Yeah.
It's Cleveland. They'll find a way. They always find a way, but not in a good way, in a bad way. All right. Let's go 49ers and the Steelers. This will be a tough opening game for both teams, honestly. The 49ers have to go all the way to the East Coast time zone to take on the Steelers here. Steelers, I still don't think the roster's great. I think they're still decent, though. Can they pull an upset? 49ers 2-point favorites on this one.
Well, this is another tough one, and that line should be more than that. I think when you look at the talent that the Niners have,
yeah.
But the question mark again is quarterback.
Yeah.
He's coming off an injury. Are we ready to say he's as good as he looked last year? That is an issue. And I would hate to have to go into Pittsburgh and win a game like this. This is a tough place to go play. I like the Steelers a bunch today, and a lot of people do. Other people do too. So give me the Steelers and an upset of the Niners.
This is a lot of the chat is agreeing with all of our picks. I don't know if that's good or bad today, but yeah, Steelers for me as well. We talked about it on our show. I just feel like this has upset written all over it. I'm taking the underdog. Give me the Steelers in this one as well. All right, last one here that we'll talk about before we get into the race of the day. The Dolphins and the Chargers here. It's in Los Angeles. Chargers a 3-point favorite in this game against the Dolphins. Total sitting at 51. All right, where are you going on this one?
Well, thanks for picking this one.
It's a tough one. It's two of our teams that we like to laugh at all year.
Well, I get Miami right more than I do the Chargers. That's
1,000%.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think the Chargers, and I say this every year, their roster is as good as anybody.
Yep.
They just find a way to lose games they shouldn't. They normally play pretty good in these kind of games, though. Yep. When they get beat, it's against somebody they should kick, and they lose, and they do the dumbest, stupidest things. And in these kind of games, though, they usually play pretty well. Miami's not quite as good away from home.
Yeah.
That's a good point there. Well, they have more fans all the way from Miami than the Chargers do. They could, Jason. They sure could. I don't think the Dolphins are going to win this. I'm going the Chargers to win it.
So the chat and I agree on every game. I like the Dolphins to win this game. I'm going to go against you. I just think it's a good setup for the Dolphins to cover this. I think they'll win outright. I took the underdog here as well. So I'm playing 3 dogs here in these games. I have no confidence in the Chargers, and I think year 2 for this system in Miami, I think they're going to be pretty good. And I still I don't think Tua is a very good player, like a elite quarterback is what I meant to say. But I think when he's healthy, he's good enough. And I just lean towards the Dolphins. I think they're a little bit better coached. I think second year in McDaniel, they'll take steps. I think if Tua stays healthy, I just like this Dolphins team a little bit more. So I will go Miami in this one plus the 3. All right, race of the day. We're going to the Del Mar Futurity. Last day of the meet here at Del Mar. Field of 7 with the huge favorite. And this is basically are you going to single the 1 at Prince of Monaco, or are you going to go with somebody else, Papa Dude?
Finally, you did an easy one.
Yep.
I don't see anything that can beat this horse.
Yeah, I don't either.
It's a single all the way, and if you don't get it, you just shake your head and say, well, Baffert did it to me again, or something to that effect, because this horse is far and away statistically better than the other ones. I mean, 2 for 2 and not even close in either race, and one of them's a stakes. So, and he beat Raging Torrent, I think is the second favorite. Just stomped him in that race. So this looks like an up and comer. The only question will be, can he get 7 furlongs? And I don't know why he couldn't. He's on 5 and then 6, so the progression is to go 7, I guess. So obviously it's going to be a sprinter. I would think they would have stretched him out before now. So I don't think there's much to talk about. Do you?
I don't think so either. I definitely think this horse looks pretty darn tough here. It feels like this is the best 2-year-old right now in the country. Obviously got to keep winning, but 2 really impressive wins. That one last time out was super impressive. Yeah. And the other problem is, it's like, okay, Raging Torrent is a horse I think is decent. Got smoked last time by this Baffert horse. The 5, I thought ran a very good second race, improved. But you look at that first race, didn't do a whole lot of running, got beat by Raging Torrent. It's like, I think the 5 is probably the second choice and logical, but the step up looks so large to try to beat the 1 today. That's the problem.
Well, and you got 2 others that are kind of highly thought of, I guess, a little bit. You got Miranda and you got Next Level. They haven't even won a race.
That's the other problem. Next Level has been pretty decent in 2 starts, but
and won,
and you just feel like he's up against it today. Miramati is a horse I was told was going to be a monster. And I told you on the drive home yesterday, I said, I don't even listen to anybody anymore, because any horse that I'm told is good always doesn't run very well. Mm-hmm. And it's just true. And so now this horse is 0 for 3. Again, it's like they say he's pretty decent, but he just hasn't shown it. So,
do you think sometimes they see the name of the horse and who's training it, and it's got a name that we all know what that name is?
Yeah.
And so they just automatically, this is going to be a monster horse. Sometimes I think that.
A lot of times, people that don't actually know will tell me stuff like that, but I wouldn't listen to them anyway. But no, I mean, with Miramati, it's like people within the barn were saying that.
Okay.
So it's like I told you yesterday.
Yeah.
They don't know any more than we do.
They know
about the person that handles them every day. They can't give you a winner any easier than anybody else.
They can tell you, and they're not lying. They can tell you the talent. They think for sure talent is there. Yeah. But does that translate to the horse on race day? That's what they can't predict.
1,000%. They know if a horse has talent or not before we do. 1,000,000%. I didn't. It sounded like I may have been disrespectful. That's not what I was trying to be.
Yeah.
But they don't know when the gates open what that horse will do.
No.
That's the key.
And that's what makes horse racing so tough.
Yep.
Dealing with an animal.
Yep.
Not a person. You can't get in their head. You don't know.
Yep.
And the bottom line is, some of them don't run well when they hit the gate. They just don't. And they don't have that competitive spirit, I guess. Mm-hmm. And humans are kind of that way too, but you can kind of talk to a human and you kind of get some idea. You can say, look, you're either going to put it in another gear or forget it. A horse, he don't know what you're talking about. How you going to
you just don't know what's going through their mind.
Yeah. Okay, now here's what you're going to do, buddy. You're going to get up there in that gate. Today you're going to get out of that thing, and then you're going to go up there to the front, because you got talent.
Well, it's like we were talking about a horse. I forget what day it was. It's like, if he gets out of the gate well today, he's going to win. And it's like, but you don't know if he's going to get out of it. You're just hoping, at that point. And if he doesn't want to get out, he or she doesn't want to get out of the gate, then they're not going to do it.
Or if they get out there and they just take off and they get behind by a little bit, 2 or 3, and they just go,
I've had enough.
I don't feel like this today.
A lot of times you can watch a race in the stretch too, and you can see that a horse will lock on to another horse. Yeah. And all they really care about is just kind of running with that horse.
Yeah.
And they don't really care what's behind them or in front of them. They're just kind of having fun with that horse. So you see that a lot. So that's kind of the stuff. The trainers, the owners, the handlers, even the jockeys. It's like they know the talent, but they don't really know what the horse is going to do once they get out there.
Yeah.
Long way to go, or long way to cycle back there with. We're going to single the one. I just think this looks to be a much, much better horse than the rest of these today.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. I think this, if there's ever a no-brainer, this is the one.
It seems to be. As John White says, sometimes when it's too easy, that's when it all blows up.
Oh, exactly.
This feels like it's too easy, so it may blow up on us.
Yeah. When you sent me the race and I looked at, first of all, I saw 2 to 5. You don't see that very often. And then when I started thumbing down there, I don't even have to think about this one. This one's just easy.
Yeah. Well, John is one of the few morning line makers that will try to make an accurate morning line favorite when horses like this. A lot of times they'll just say, well, he's even money, and you're not going to get it. John set him at 2 to 5 because that's what John thinks you're going to get on him. So
I think you're going to get 1 to 9 is what I think.
You might be right. All right, let's move on to the best bets. Hard to argue that one. We'll go Magic first. Magic got an under yesterday with Iowa State. It looked a little dicey for a second, but he got there. He's going to take another under today. He's going Titans Saints under 42. Papa Dude, what do you think about this one?
Not bad. I think that's doable. I really do.
I think if you're going to play an under today, that's one that makes sense. Yeah.
I like the Atlanta, Carolina playing an under, but I think it's too low.
It is very low, but I do think that's going to go under. Yeah. I agree with that.
But this one's a good one too. I don't think these teams are going to run up and down the field on each other.
No. Titans Saints under 42 for Magic. His best bet today. He's looking to cap off a pretty good week. I think he's only lost 1 this week. Let's go, Papa Dude. Let's go to you. Let's go to the Bears. Why are you taking the Bears today?
Well, I tell you, I had Liberty yesterday, came through. So let's go with another dog of a game, in my opinion. But we do have 2 pretty good names in the Bears and the Packers. That sounds like the NFL.
Yeah.
I don't like Green Bay at all. I just don't. I've seen Jordan Love, and he's going to have to really improve. And he might, because sometimes when you're playing behind a guy like Rodgers, you just, you're not going to beat him out. And you just don't react very well when you do get a chance. Now the team's his, and it's been his ever since Rodgers announced he was going somewhere else. Yeah. That will make a difference, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't think Green Bay's very good.
Nope.
I don't think they have the players around them. The Bears are improving. They're getting better. Yes, they suck. We all know that. I just think Justin Fields is a decent player, and I think the Bears are getting better. They drafted well. I think they have a plan. This is a huge opening game for them. They need this because this is a division where the kings of the division, the Packers, are going down. They're struggling. Minnesota's up and down. You never know. The Bears have a chance to move up.
Mm-hmm.
And, that division suddenly, if Detroit keeps playing like they did, that's their division, in my opinion, at the moment. And the Bears could step up there too. Yeah. They got to win games like this at home, 1.5. I'm taking them to, 1.5 to beat the spread, whatever you want to cover. That's not much to cover. I just think they're going to win this game. And to me, I am very leery of the first week in the NFL. I got to see it a couple of weeks. I don't do real well with the NFL anyway, but I was scared to bet much today because I just simply don't know. So I'm going to go with the Bears because I think they're going to win this game. I do.
This is a stay away game for me.
They were all for me.
I think you're right. I think this is a game the Bears should win. They need. I mean, like there is no have to win week 1 in the NFL, but this is a game where they could come out and make a statement that hey, we're here. You know.
Well, what did they win last year? 3 or 4.
What did they? I think
weren't they the worst team in the no.
I think they won 4 or 5, didn't they?
Okay, well that's terrible.
Yeah,
that's terrible. So let's say that you have a realistic goal to win 8 this year, which would be a nice step up.
You were right. They won 3. You were right.
Yeah, I thought they were the worst. So the realistic goal is if you win 8, that's an improvement of 5 games.
Yep.
Well, if you're going to win 8, you got to win this game. These are the games you have to win because Green Bay's not going to. I'll be shocked if they win 9.
I agree. Yeah.
So you got to win this game. I just think they're taking steps in the right direction. They had a good draft. I think they'll be a little bit better this year. I don't know if they win 8, but I think they can win this one.
Yep. I agree. They need to win this one for sure.
Yep.
All right, let's get to mine here. I'm going to stick with Chicago. I'm going to go with a multi-sport parlay today. I'm going to go Chicago Cubs today. They're playing Arizona in the 3rd game of the series. And listen, the Cubs are in danger of getting swept. Arizona's come into Chicago and handled them. I don't think the Cubs get swept. I think they get it done today. So I'll go the Cubs. Brandon Pfaadt on the mound for Arizona. He has not been good. And we kind of talked about it. When Gallen pitches, when Kelly pitches, Arizona's tough.
Yep.
The rest of those starters are very hit and miss. So I'm going to take the Cubs, and then I'm going to go the Ravens with the other one here for the second half of this, plus 102 for this one. Listen, the Ravens playing the Texans, they just simply have to win. It's in Baltimore. Yep. I mean, to me, that's the lock of the NFL today.
Well, I think so.
The Ravens. So
yeah, and I almost took that as the best bet, but it's come down to 9.
Yeah.
I saw that 9 this morning, so that's better than 10.
Chicago, the Cubs were like minus 160, 65. So I was like, I can't play that, just them. So I thought I'll throw in the Ravens plus 102, try to get this one home. Super mad yesterday. That parlay.
Oh, I wish you'd have been in the car with him.
Houston loses in double overtime to Rice. I mean, good Lord.
Yeah, when he made his parlay yesterday, for those of you who didn't see, it was Oklahoma, Notre Dame, and Houston against Rice. So when I looked at the parlay, I thought, okay, the easiest of the 3 games is Houston.
Right.
Rice.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, OU's next. And then because they were at home. And the only thing about Notre Dame, they were on the road.
Yeah.
It was a great parlay. And the first, Notre Dame came through easy. Yeah. And OU struggled, but they came through. And so first thing he says, he's checking scores, and Houston's behind 21-0.
Yeah, the first time I looked at the app, because we're at the game, I'm not looking at it all game. I look at the app, and it's 21-0.
Yeah,
and it's the first quarter. And I look back, and it's 28-0, and I'm like, God.
Yeah. So then we're walking to the car.
Yeah,
and they've got it 28-7.
Right. Yeah,
which is still terrible.
It's awful. Yeah,
in the game, and then they're about to score though.
Yep,
and they do. So got to the car. It was 28-14, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So we're heading out of Norman, and he goes, "Oh, they've got it 28-21, and they got the ball."
Yeah.
So we're about. We were out of Norman quite a ways when they tied it.
Yep. Yeah.
So we're sitting there debating, do you go for 2 to win it or kick the extra point? We both said the same thing. Kick the extra point. You got all the momentum. They did. And they get beaten double overtime.
Well, not only that, they had not given up a point in 3 quarters, right?
That's right.
And I think Rice, they could barely even get a first down.
Yeah.
Houston gets the ball in the first overtime and
score. Yeah.
It's like this game is over.
Yeah.
And they not only do they let Rice score, they score easily. Then Rice gets it again in the second overtime, scores easily. Rice gets the 2-point conversion in the second overtime. It's like you're losers at that point. I mean, you had that game won, and then Houston scored, but then they did not get the 2-point conversion, and they called the worst. Why call a fade for a 2-point conversion? I mean, that's the dumbest call.
It is.
It's so dumb because it's such a 50-50 at best
It
ball.
is.
And
It's
you're
a
moving it all over the field. Anyway, it was awful. So
a hard pass to complete.
I'm sure Lamar throws like 3 picks and the Cubs will win like 12-0 and Ravens will lose. But anyway,
but
anyway, yeah,
you should have hit that parlay. That was a good parlay.
It was. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
But it's just the way it's the way it is.
All right, let's go to the best bets here today. The good news is we're 5-4 on the week. The bad news, minus $15 because Magic's horse went into the gate at 6-5 and came out at 1-5 in the one he picked. So can't even make fun of Magic for it. It was just horrible. Still up $556 for the year though. That's pretty solid. 3 plays today: Cubs and Ravens. Like I said, plus 102 for me. Magic's going Titans Saints under 36.5, and Papa Dude's going the Chicago Bears minus 1.5. You could play Chicago Cubs minus a 1.5 too.
Yeah, I'm not that confident in the Cubs. They're not hitting right now.
I know.
That's what's bothering me. I also like the New York Giants tonight over the Cowboys, and by the way, that's -3 now.
Ooh, all right. Upset city there for Papa Dude. All right, we're going to get off here, guys. Have a great rest of your weekend. Have a great opening NFL Sunday. Nothing better. I'm going to go down to the basement and turn on the Red Zone right now. And I've got a pizza on the way. It's going to be a big day here at the Halterman household. So a lot going on. Everybody have a good rest of your week. We'll see you right back here on this show next Thursday. All right. See you guys.